Hey guys, we are back and we continue to make it back here week after week. So I guess we're doing something right, huh, Stephen?
I hope so.
Yeah, so do I. But as always, we are here. I'm Scott. That's Stephen. This is Talking Shh. And again, if you're new, which you could be, because again, we're picking up viewers and listeners every week, and we appreciate it. Again,
Yes.
we just come together and talk about music, live shows, favorite albums, favorite songs. We've gone back and kind of detailed out how we got to where we're at. Kind of interesting, right? I got some good feedback. And I know you shared some comments too, and I loved hearing kind of your little you know adventure and travel and how you bookend. As Steven's a drummer, in case you don't know, I'm a singer, or at least we pretend to be. And then we go ahead and work during the day and come together in the evening and put these shows out. But I think overall, again, this is episode, I think we're on 18.
18. And
Yeah,
if you guys are curious, I am actually sitting at my drum set. So
he is, yeah. And you can kind of see a microphone here, but again, that's kind of needed for just recording vocals anyway, or audio, that's just to say. But
there you go.
I thought I hit on a couple anniversaries, if I may. Stephen and I, this is our 6th year together now. I would say, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, we don't judge, but
No.
the Facebook memories is always good. And I think I've talked about this before. It's a problem. I admit it, that usually I wake up, I tell Alexa or Google snooze, which I know people say you shouldn't do that, the little snoozing. And I just said Alexa, and there she is. Stop, turn off. Alexa, stop.
She's
And I don't have a
cantankerous.
cough. Yeah.
She's pissed.
All right, she's done. Sorry, I won't say that again. Anyway. And we have both. We have that thing that just made a sound, and we have Google downstairs in different rooms. So I need to figure it out. And now I can't talk. So this will be fun. But Stephen, tomorrow. So let's see, what was this, 6 years ago? Is that true? Maybe 5. Friday, June 28th. So it'd be 7, right? Because it takes 7 years to cycle through to have the same, unless we got a leap year in there.
Yes.
I learned something back in. Okay, this is actually 5 years. So forget what I just said about the leap year and the 7 years. But 5 years ago, we played Friday, June 28th, 10 p.m. slot. Take my glasses off, though I kind of need them again. At D Piazza's. Oh, I just got a Joe Biden text, so let me just go ahead and swipe away from that. Yeah.
That was when I decided to bring my entire big drum set, which was
That's
the worst
right.
thing
Yeah.
I could ever think of doing ever again.
So 5 years ago, so this was not near the end, because we played, I think, another show in December. So, which might have been the last one.
The last
Maybe,
one
maybe
was
not.
before COVID.
Yeah.
Was the Christmas before COVID.
So this was, well, 5 years ago, quick math. So June 28th, 1999. Okay. Pretty awesome. Yeah.
1999 or
5 years ago, right?
1999?
20.
I think you're thinking of Prince.
Yeah.
You want to just party like it's
2000 party over. It's out of time. Well, yeah. So again, so let's see. Just within the first, I don't know, 3 minutes, I woke up that little listening device that is probably tapped into our national security, right?
I would imagine
I just said 5 years, and then I made a reference to 7 years in a leap year, which was completely incoherent. And then I said 1999, when truly and I almost said 1999 again. So if you guys are listening, one, I'm sure you find, I hope you do. If you find joy and some humor in my inability to actually put a sentence together, then you've come to the right place. But 2019, there we go.
Yes.
2019. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a Christmas show, was the last one.
Yeah. Which would be in December.
Yes.
So
usually.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can have Christmas in July.
You could, yeah. And speaking of Christmas in July, do you watch any of those Hallmark Christmas shows?
I do not.
Okay, then we'll save that for another time.
I do not. And they're usually abundant from what I hear, but I don't. I have, if we're going to talk about Christmas, I have my usual stash come Christmas time, and I'll probably start like around Thanksgiving, with Christmas Vacation and those, all those all-time classics, but I don't venture away to television much because I'm such a YouTube snob now.
Yeah, for sure. So 5 years ago,
5 years.
anniversary tomorrow.
Yes.
But of one of it's a kind
There's
of a
another
select vintage, one of the shows that Steven and I played together. Fantastic time. Every single one of them was fantastic.
So much fun.
And we are working on some new music. So I was in LA in the city 2 weeks ago, give or take. So something's going to come together. And again, we can do all this virtually. And Steve now has his symbols. So again, we want to do that. But then on this day in 1986, or was it 1886? No, it was 1986. Queensryche released their second full length, Rage for Order.
38 years.
Wow. So, and also there was a story earlier, and I find this kind of fun. Again, if you've listened to all of our shows, or you can go back because you can find them on Spotify and YouTube. We're probably up to about 4 or 5 videos. So we'll have those usually out a few weeks after. So we'll kind of mix it up. And then there was always the little shorts. So you get a little snippet. There was a show we recorded a week ago. I put just a quick little, snippet, if I may, out there. And it got some good viewage, right? Is it viewage?
That's good. That's
better
good.
Than sewage, right?
Or spewage.
Or that too. But the comment I was going to make, which I just completely distracted myself. See, so that's a problem. Sometimes other people distract one another, but if you distract yourself, again, if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm really not a wreck. I actually have a lot of things together, but as Steve can kind of say, well, Scott, usually when you come together on Thursday night, you're barely there, but
well, it's because we're multitasking and getting beat up all week at work. So by the time we get to this, it's like our brains are melted.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of true. Anyway, 1986, Queensryche, and what I was going to say, now it came back in there. Rage for Order. I love that record.
Good album.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. I just looked over because I had it, like whenever I'm playing a record, I have kind of it sits on the speaker, but I have the album cover sit up there, and I had it up there for about until a week ago, and now I have Bark at the Moon.
Ooh,
sitting up there, which I had not listened to that record in years.
Jakey Lee.
When I went through it, I'm like, oh yeah, aside from the title track.
When I first heard that guitar riff, because that was right after Randy had passed away. And I don't know that I knew who had replaced him. But when I heard that guitar riff, and I know there's a lot of controversy about who wrote that song between Jakey and whatever.
Yeah.
But it had that. It sucked me right in. I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's go through this whole record.
And if you can be sucked right in, then there's worse things in life. So I agree. However, again, one of the topics, and Stephen, I appreciate you allowing me just to ramble.
Ramble on, bud, ready.
So on one of our recent shows, we talked about bands that, here's a test if I can say it, that should reunite. There, I got it. And bands that will never, ever get back together.
Correct.
And in both those shows, two different shows, we both mention Queensryche. Today, it could be on a number, it could be Blabbermouth, it could be a lot of times thank you. They'll pick up stories and they'll just kind of push them out.
Right.
And when you really scroll through, you'll see who they attribute the original story to. But in this case, there was a conversation with Jeff Tate and this is fun, and maybe this is just how, right before we went on, and this is, we don't make political comments. However, there's, as we're taping, there's a debate going on. I'll leave it at that because we have our own debates. We do our own talking. Shh. There was a lot of that going on, by the way.
There was.
A lot of talking shit.
There
But
was
no
a
matter
lot of
what,
talking shit.
there's two sides of the story. Now they say, well, there's two sides to every story, But in one of the posts I read for Jeff Tate, he was like, I would be interested. I think there would be some interest. But then I read another story saying I have no interest. So who knows? So in that, kind of come to your own conclusion. My
Correct.
point being, we talked about that in a recent show. Are we influencing what's going on out in the music news world? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I guess we can say yes and believe it, or say no, it's just coincidental. But either way, it's a topic. So, would something happen? Would there be this just magical event where Chris DeGarmo, Scott Rockenfield, who have not been part of Queensryche forever, then obviously the voice, Jeff Tate, would they come back together? Should they?
Well, I think we talked
yes.
about, when we talked about it would be like when Pink Floyd reunited, even if you're going to, like Slayer, they're doing what, 2 shows together?
Yeah.
And they're saying that's pretty much it. I saw some Kerry King live stuff from a couple days ago, which is pretty awesome. But would having a Queensryche with the original members would be definitely a crowd gatherer. I would go.
Yeah, no,
For
absolutely. So we'll see, but that story popped up recently. And then within the last week, there was a story on Sepultura, and how Andres Kisser, who is the only original member, who in their own right are on a farewell tour with a new drummer.
Grayson.
Yeah, who's awesome. He's just he just shreds. Yeah, and he looks like, I'm sure he's older than 20, maybe he's 21.
He looks like it's Bring Your Son to Work Day.
Yeah, really. He just looks like just a kid, but he brings it. And again, I caught him on You Turned Me On to Drumeo. So I saw him do he did a Sleep Token song.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. And he, again, he certainly, and you want that in top, and I consider him a top tier drummer for sure, a top tier musician.
Without a doubt.
They're going to be very critical. And in Drumeo, Drumeo, check it out on YouTube. They bring in different drummers every week, right? And they play a song in many I think that's the intent, that sure, maybe someone's heard of the band, but not the song. That's the idea. Then they drop out the drum track, and then you have to listen to it, and you can take notes and transcribe whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then
cool.
play your part over it. And then usually it's at least the way they arrange the video. They do 3 or 4 takes, and then they play the whole song at the end. And then they come back and say, oh, by the way, that was the Go-Go's. And here's the drum part.
That one's a really hard song to play too, on drums.
Yeah. So, but anyway, no, it's because you mentioned that you spend so much time on YouTube. I think I spend a fair amount now, and just watching live shows and those little musical clips. It's just cool. It's just, different ways of entertainment. And clearly there's millions and millions of people that are watching, videos with TikTok and Snapchat and all those things. It clearly is here for.
There's a really good one out that's kind of still floating around with Mike Portnoy, and they put on Numa from Tool, and it's interesting to watch. I think it was like they obviously cut it down, but it was him trying to learn Danny Carey's parts in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun to watch, because Mike Portnoy, he's just cussing him out, saying, you guys are mother effers.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me? And to watch Mike try to count it in, he's like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. it's so cool to watch. It's such a, and of course Portnoy, this guy's phenomenal. He nails it no matter what, even though he's not Danny Carey, and even though, and they're buddies too, but it's
Yeah.
a fun video to watch. Mike Portnoy doing Danny Carey.
Yeah, totally. And I just lost my screen. Give me a second. There it is.
Uh-oh. Alexa stole it from you.
Yeah, probably so. So in that, we talked about a little yeah. I almost said movie. I go, we could. Again, we've been teasing it for a while, and we will jump into some movie topics for sure. Again, we're just going to keep the dialogue going, and we also invite you guys to share comments on what topics you're interested in hearing about. I know in the last couple, and I don't know if I could pull these up really quick, but basically there was on the I get a kick out of the comments that end up on the
I think one was funny about
yeah.
the four bands that
oh yeah
rock and roll, and there were some people, and I think I actually made a comment at the end saying this was just a list that Scott picked. It wasn't something that we said, yeah, this is it. We just were commenting on it.
Yeah, and there it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah. So it's real funny. The what Steven just wrote. So find this, and again, this was on the greatest band in rock history. And we listed four. And in disclosure, there was a post on X, Twitter that I saw. And sometimes we'll just be scrolling through content and just do a screenshot, and I'll shoot it over to Steven and go, hey, you want to riff on this? And we go, yeah, do it. And so we turn that into a whole show. So that'll be released on Spotify in a couple of weeks. But again, some clips already they didn't find their way to the YouTube. They were placed there purposely. But in that, Oasis, Nirvana, U2, or Bon Jovi. Random, just totally random.
Totally random.
On purpose.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'll read a couple of comments.
It's very funny.
First one, and I'll do this. I'll cite who wrote it, because, and when we do a video part there, that'd be official now. As we do a video part of this, we'll go ahead and just fly in these comments. So, this whole show really is kind of a reaction. So we're going to do that. So,
very funny.
Again, the greatest band in rock history: Oasis, Nirvana, U2, or Bon Jovi. Michael Finley, 4440. Bon Jovi, question mark. They couldn't lick Van Halen's toes. Just ask him. Well, let's track down Bon Jovi and ask, John, can you lick Van Halen's toes? And
we can ask Eddie and Alex too.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alex dropped off the earth, and so did Eddie.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, and Pink Floyd. And then he added, not my favorite, but big impact. So sure, just he picked up four. He could have said anyone else, but we want that. The idea purposely is we're talking and we want you guys to comment. So thank you for kind of meeting one of our corporate objectives. Yeah. What is from Jan Christensen, 8838? What is the definition of rock? In my world, Oasis is not rock. Maybe U2, but it's probably closer to pop rock. And then they list AC/DC, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Dire Straits, Nirvana, Queen, Rolling Stones, Deep Purple, Jimi Hendrix, etc. Okay. Didn't really call out which ones, they just listed bands. So in that, I'm just going to come to the conclusion that those bands are all ones that they are interested in.
Which we'd be more than happy to talk about.
100%, yeah. Oasis.
They're all good bands.
Yeah, sorry. This is at 4200 time B. And they got a skull and crossbone as their little picture here on YouTube. Oasis. ... Question. How the hell is that even thought about to put on that list? Shake my head. For that very reason, to get you to shake your head, to get you to comment. And I did reply to each one of these, and I said, thank you for dropping by. Please subscribe and share with your friends. So, that's all good. And then you may know who this person is. Stevie Steven James Drums. That's you. Yeah. That's your comment. These You probably said, hey, fuckers. No, you didn't write that.
I
These
wanted
four
to.
bands were taken from a list Scott found on the internet. We did not pick four bands, just a discussion regarding, I don't think that we have to even justify,
I
but
know.
we are
I was
polite.
just
I think we try to be gentlemanly as at times, but yeah, it's just like random. Right now, we could just say, I'll list a band, and you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, or artists. So let's do that really quick. I'm going to say Billy Squier to start.
I couldn't stand that guy. Sorry,
Yeah,
internet.
that's no.
I don't know. I didn't even know. To me, Billy Squier was a wannabe Robert Plant. He kind of sounded like him, but
Okay.
I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I never got it. And every
Yeah.
time it came on, and I think they played him on KNAC from time to time,
He was
and I would
heavy.
go,
Yeah, on that.
I would turn it off. I just
Yeah.
couldn't. And then the video would come on MTV, and I would be like, why?
Yeah.
How? Why? But again, for those that like Billy, what's his name? Billy
Billy
Squier.
Squier. Yeah.
Thinking of the I'm not knocking him. I'm sure he's talented. He's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And that could be anybody's thing. Like they say, Oasis. Oasis is not my cup of tea either. I like a few of their songs, and it
Yeah.
was a great topic to talk about. But Billy Squier would be a great topic to talk about. Never. So there you go.
See, right there. So we just did it. I just randomly threw someone out,
Mm-hmm.
and Steven just drove right over him. So there.
Through the coals.
Yeah. So,
Gee.
in that, we're just going to keep going on our little kind of random here, but I'm going to tease our topic, and
Yes.
we're going to do these over. And yeah, we did it before. So I'm going to say that we're kind of breaking down Metallica, their records, their songs, their live shows, their tours, their influence, their interests, their disinterest. That's going to go over a couple shows. So as you're tuning into what we say, this is 18.
18.
You're going to have to come back next week for 19, and probably the week after that. And if we feel really, really, if the mood is right there, if we can put it that way, I'll link together 20 and 21, so you can get one kind of supersize show. You can get an extra large show, right?
There's a lot to pack in.
There is, yeah. So we'll just kind of just stuff it all in how we can. So in that, I think, as always, we appreciate you guys dropping by. This was just, an intro conversation, because we do it. We really, I think the most, breaking news, compelling, that came out of this is Steven just doesn't like Billy Squier. I would have known that, but I randomly pulled a name out, and now we know. So guys, check us out on YouTube. A lot of shorts on Instagram at Talking Show. We put content out there pretty regularly. So again, please follow along on that. And Spotify, every Monday these come out. So
and speaking of just to go back on Andres, I saw an article where he was talking about maybe having the Cavaleros brothers come back for maybe the last show. I saw
right. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And I referenced him, but thank you for kind of coming back on that, because that was something we bounced around as a topic a few weeks back, and said, would they all kind of come together one last time? And if it's the final show, I think it's appropriate. I think that you can, have Derek do vocals and come in and start a show, and then have Max come in and kind of blend it together. Then they could do, we'll just plan the set for them right now. They'll do their 4 biggest songs as the encore, with the trade-off of vocalist and maybe some other friendly musicians, because Mr. Bungle has played a number of Sepultura songs as part of their set. Who knows? Depending, and maybe it's at a festival, maybe there's something, but I don't know. That would be cool. That to me would be a big event, and in a band where, they certainly had two sets of careers, and I've probably seen them half a dozen times, maybe 8 over the years as with Cavallaro Brothers and then with Derek. And so always a good show, just full of energy.
Doubtful that Eloy would come and do any part of that, but you never know.
Yeah, right. Maybe not.
Don't count your chickens till they're hatched. Is that the saying? I don't know.
It is. Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome. So anyhow, I just wanted to go back to that because we were talking about that earlier.
No, I think that's
and
it.
Did you say Andreas might be watching or checking us out?
Well, yeah, that would be pretty cool,
Anyhow.
So guys, as always, appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week where we will actually get into our topic. It'll be Metallica, and we'll do a couple shows on that. So until then, see ya.
See ya. Oh, that's your line.
You can say it too. All right.
Yeah, I'll come up with another one.
All right.
Cheers.
And bye, Billy Squire.
Bye, Billy Squire. Rest in peace.